3 notes and a synthesizer. That's all you need to make a garden mystery song. Hey friends, this is Wild Song, Season 2, Episode 4. We're getting under the hood with faith, music, creativity, artistry, and exploring the kingdom of God through this tiny little window of a song. We've had a few hiccups on my end. Apparently, summer with 4 kids and artists visiting for recording turns out to be way more busier than expected. No problem. The song we're going to look at today is called Magnolia, and it was born all the way back in 2004 on an iBook. Look at that beast. So it's had a fun little journey. You're going to hear a lot of different genres in this podcast. And for this, I've always enjoyed making electronic music, but it's not something that I eagerly desire. It's kind of like cheesecake. I have a theory on cheesecake. You know, you don't usually say like, man, I could really go for cheesecake right now. But when you eat it, it's so freaking delicious. It's like, why am I not eating more of this? Like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I not eating this more often? It doesn't have that crave factor like other foods. And that's kind of how I am with electronic music. Like, I don't crave it. I don't desire to make a lot of it. But when I do make electronic music, when I do use synthesizers and stuff, it's like, man, why don't I do this more? This is fun. This is enjoyable. Why don't I do it more often? So 2 ideas here, real quick, for the songwriter, for the creator: minimalism and experimentation. So with minimalism, I'm not necessarily talking about the number of instruments that you use. I'm talking about repetition with a shorter looped idea. You know, this song starts with just 3 notes. That's it. And that forms the whole structure of the song and everything that comes after that. So a lot of my songs, I think they tend to change a lot. They're more dynamic. They're more journeying type writing. But I also want to challenge myself as an artist that I can do the opposite, that I can make something simple and repetitive and trance-like, something that loops over and over in a short time frame that almost has this hypnotic quality that allows you to stay centered on a thought for a while. You can call it meditative. Now, the other idea real quick is with this experimentation. You know, using certain songs that you write to see what you're capable of vocally. Like for me, this was a chance to experiment with my voice because it's a really simple melody. And I wanted to try out not only like how I sing, but how my voice was processed on the studio end of it. People take a whole host of stances on manipulating your voice and whether you should or shouldn't. I've never understood the controversy. I think, A, the voice is by far the coolest instrument that we have. And B, it's one of the least touched as far as experimentation goes in recording. I've always looked at it like a guitar. Like, no one has a problem at all if we put distortion on a guitar or a delay or put effects on a guitar. It's not a natural sound. But when it comes to the voice, it's like, whoa, that doesn't sound natural. That doesn't sound like a human voice. That's not right. And it's like, well, why is that a rule? Like, I just jump in, try out stuff, and hope it works. Okay, so with those in mind, let's get to the heart of the song today and the theme around this season of hope. Let's dive in. So this season, we're exploring the wild light of hope, this thing that pushes us through the pain, past the tension and trials, into something more. And one of those aspects I want to look at today is the hope of humanity. You know, we started this season with romance, the thrill and adventure of this unique bond between a man and a woman. And then we looked at this idea of spring and life coming forth out of the ground. And then this idea of home, that there's this special connection to where you rest your head at night, even though you might adventure out in the day. And all of these things come together on this song, Magnolia. Adam and Eve, 2 souls, entwined and enraptured in love. 2 creatures who came out of the ground. This mysterious story of life springing forth from the earth or from the bones of the man. And this garden, this home, this paradise where God still gave them time to work and explore and do their own thing, but then also he would come and meet with them in the evening. All 3 of these ideas come together in Magnolia. who we really are as creatures and what it means for God to put his fingerprint upon us. We're these strange human beings, and I want to explore that mysteriousness with the sounds, the beat, the vocal processing, and the lyrics. So as far as the sound goes, having a sense of otherworldly or strangeness to them. And the beat, it's familiar and yet it's off. It's a little quirky. I move things over an eighth note. It feels nice and yet it's hard for drummers to play. It's a little strange. And I like that juxtaposition. And then with the vocals, having processed sounds, and then also having this massive delay and reverb that swallows you and brings you into another place. And then the lyrics. Look, that's it. Remember I mentioned minimalism. I've worked on thousands of songs with artists, and this is one of the biggest habits that I see is sometimes people having a habit of always using a lot of words, always filling their chorus up with a ton of stuff, but never having simple songs. Try making a song with just a few lines, just a handful of words. Treat it more like poetry in its simplest form. So all these little parts that come together to get at this theme of mystery. I want to try to capture mystery, and what does that have to do with hope? Well, mystery is one of the 5 pillars of my program that I take artists through. It's very important to me. It's at the very center of the program because we need to learn to sit in it, to get comfortable with it. Mystery. This happened all the time with some of Jesus' closest friends. They kept saying, spell it out, make it plain. And so many times Jesus didn't. He seemed to move and operate and live in a way that was more strange and mysterious than we're often comfortable with. And I think this gets to the heart of it. We in the West, in our modern little minds, we're often uncomfortable with mystery. Or put it another way, we don't have a healthy relationship with the mysterious, the mystical, the strange, the unexplainable. We want to frantically try to categorize it and explain it and define it. And it shows up all the time. Now, what I'm not saying is just leave everything loosey-goosey, undefined. No, but we should also have a healthy dose of, I don't know, or it's beyond me in our language. It's that very thing that happens when you look at someone right in the eyes, the window to the soul. There's a vastness of mystery and awe and a sense of, man, this is beyond me when I look at a human. It's the mystery of how we were built. These lyrics are based on a spoken word poem that I made a long, long time ago. It goes like this. Some say you were looking at yourself in a mirror when you made us, when you made man in your image. I think you knew yourself in such infinite perfection that you looked at me the whole time. And when you were almost done, you made my eyes just for the joy of seeing your smile reflecting through my world, through the very art of your living satisfaction. God staring into these human eyes and seeing himself, seeing his own smile, his own delight. That, my friends, is where hope is, because there's hope built into the very fabric of us. Because we were meant to shine, to reflect him. And we know often we're not doing that. Now, how do I, as an artist, how do I express that? So I chose on this song with very few things, few notes, few words. I tried to create a song that if you actually sit in it and drink it in and let the words hit you, they'll probably leave you with more questions than answers, more mystery than resolute definitions. And that's what I hope you take away from this song, that you'll have your own experience that's different from mine, different from anyone else's. And if I did my part right, if I crafted it well, then you'll have a space for a moment to explore, a space to dream, a space to ask questions, a space in which you can get a glimpse of hope in your own life. Maybe for a second, you'll touch ever so slightly the idea that you were created and fashioned and formed for something more than what's going on in front of us. The hope of glory. So I want to invite you to this new space. Take a second, breathe, be still. Put your phone on silent and just rest. And let's go to the garden where you just might encounter something beyond us. I pray this song touches you as it has touched me. Blessings.